She's so stubborn.
Hey, we're getting ready to go live.
Okay. Keep the curse words down, right?
We are live.
It is live, yes.
Yep. We good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll call the meeting to order. 7:03, February 3rd. We'll start with any old business. First on the list
We have
is.
to approve January.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
That's
All
okay.
right.
I make a motion to approve last month's meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, none. Passes. All right. Any other? No. Okay. First on the list is fiscal year 2020, 2021 budget. I know Melinda sent out a list. Well, essentially to recap, last meeting, I suggested that we should all kind of brainstorm, projects that we have in mind and then put it on paper and prioritize. I know Melinda sent out a list of projects that we've been talking about over the last year or so. I just need a minute to pull that up. Hang on.
Yeah.
But other than that, we can talk about it, but does anyone have, changes that they'd like to make to the budget?
No, I think we're assuming that our budget is going to be equivalent as the past, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Tammy, so what do we have left in this year's budget?
Let's see. We have $7,324.27
Okay.
left.
I'll speak first, just from, I don't want to say brainstorming, but I think the lights are a priority. I don't know if everybody got the email from the electrician that quoted it. I went down with him last week, 2 weeks ago. So yeah, the quote ended up being, there were two different aspects to it. Not including the pavilion, because we haven't really decided on a location for the volleyball court, which I think the volleyball court's another priority.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, these are all strictly my opinion.
Yep.
So it appears that we've got an $1,800 quote for the basketball court location. And then there was a second quote to add a light fixture, 1,000-watt LED, for an additional, looks like $550. So you're looking at $2,300 for brand new LEDs, brand new lights with a photo cell, brand new box, brand new controller, all protected. Even that box that was there was kind of a backyard special. Somebody kind of haphazardly put the latch on it for the lock. It's not a real security lock junction box itself. So that's going to get replaced. And then the second part of the quote was for an additional 1,000-watt LED right where the porta potty is. 1,000-watt LED right there to illuminate the whole field. Where right now the one that's there is going to be completely dismissed. And he's going to do a couple other things. There's some of the power cable that comes under from the garage itself, comes up through the conduit and is actually completely exposed.
Hey, Melinda, Melinda's trying to get in. She needs somebody to let her in.
I don't have anything.
Do you see anything?
No,
All right. Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay.
no problem.
So if anybody had any type of like ingenuity, and really wanted to mess with us, because I didn't even really notice this before, but he pointed it out, that cable is completely exposed. You could walk up there with and it's actually being cut into the insulated casing around the cable itself, which that's like 480 volts. If you went up there with a fork and stuck it, you'd get electrocuted.
Yeah.
So that's all going to get redone as well.
Okay.
So I think the lighting upgrade is really a good deal.
Yeah.
The LEDs, we actually got like 75% off. They're offering like right now for this quarter,
Yeah.
fiscal quarter, big time credits on the LEDs. So the LEDs we're getting are heads and tails beyond what's existing.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
like a 75% rebate.
Okay. So total, that's $2,300.
Yeah, it's like $2,300.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to hire TNS Electric LLC to take care of Constitution Field, ball field and lighting. We can also use the Constitution Field money from that. We don't have to use our budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, the next thing is I asked him to, once we decide on where the volleyball court is, to put an additional quote together, which I think is probably going to be very similar to the smaller one that includes the floodlight on the pole near the toilet. Also, he's going to give us a switch, so when we do have movie night, we hit a switch and turn it off.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? It's as simple as that.
Yep. Okay. So did he get you the quote for, I guess we need to figure out where the volleyball court is going to be first.
I would say it's going to be the equivalent to that 1,000-watt LED that is going to be near the bathroom. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be like $550.
500. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So I didn't ask for a quote for that specifically.
Yeah.
The difference is we don't have power to the pavilion right now.
Yes.
So we'd have to trench that from the town garage, pending they don't turn the lights off on us, which I think we ought to reach out to them and say, please don't do that yet.
Yeah. But there is a conduit already there, isn't there?
There's a conduit that's swept up under the landscaping in through the concrete right up the near, I'd say I'll call it the southeastern post.
Yeah.
But there is nothing from where it dead ends right outside the landscaping back to the building.
Oh.
However, there is power to the gazebo.
That's what I was going to ask. Where's the power from the gazebo come from?
So we'd have to do a little investigation work as to if there's enough power to, generate a 1,000-watt LED or a 400-watt LED. That's all stuff that I asked him not even to touch yet, because we have to figure other things out too.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So going back to Melinda's motion.
Sorry.
No, I support it. So, can I second as president? I forget.
I don't think you can.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you're a tiebreaker.
I'll second it.
All right.
Dean said that.
What? No, that was Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Like Kay.
Mike. Yep.
Sorry.
So our next move is to get a PO cut. We'd have to get this quote directly to the town, get a PO cut, and then we'd have to have some kind of subcontract agreement drafted.
Motion passed. You need to vote on it.
Yeah.
Vote. I say aye.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Motion passes. All right.
Yeah, I don't know how they do those subcontract agreements through the town. I don't have any idea how to do that. So we'll have to reach out to Julie and see if she can help us with that.
Used to be that they would cut a PO for us. Roxanne used to just type up something on a letterhead, or whatever we told her as a purchase order.
Yeah.
I don't know who does that now. So must be
It's probably Julie.
Probably
Yeah.
Julie Zelensky.
Zelensky, I think. Julie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And that should be pretty easy. That shouldn't be
Yeah,
an issue.
Yeah, that's usually not an issue.
I will make sure that we collect any documentation from these new light install.
Yeah.
It gets filed somewhere. So in case there is a warranty that is voided on installation or manufacturing or whatever, we can be protected that way,
Do we have like a filing cabinet or something at town hall? I thought we did.
Yes, we do, in the
Yeah.
basement.
Yeah, so that's where it will go for future storage. But yeah, so Mike, you sent out that invoice or that
Well,
quote, right?
Yeah, I sent it, I emailed it to the Recreation Commission. I don't know if everybody got it or not, but then I did a second one to Mark, to you and Melinda separately.
Okay.
No.
So what I can do is I can or you can if you want. Just I would forward that to Julie, CC Tracy on it.
Yep.
And just say that we approved this project and that a PO needs to be made out to the electrician.
Got it.
And then you can probably contact the electrician and figure out a date when they can start.
Yeah,
Julie-
he's got a boom truck, so we'll probably have to wait till the snow melts, but
Okay.
he told me to do both things, it'd take no longer than a day.
Okay.
Once
Awesome.
he gets once he orders the material, but he'll want to see a PO before he orders the material, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Do we want this out of the Constitution Field money, though? Not our budget, correct?
Sorry, I don't have the budget. I don't have the budget in front of me right now.
But we have a,
I
we have
think, I think
We have
we
a
should
line
take it
item?
out of our budget. We should take it out of our budget because we lose our budget if we don't spend it. We
Yeah.
can always take anything else that we want to do out of the other budget afterwards. But
Yeah.
I say we use what we have first. That's going to go away.
Do we have?
Scramble. too.
Every year we lose it. Every year we lose it. And it's like, it's such a waste.
Yeah.
Especially
I-
in basketball.
I agree. I just we need to make sure that we have a line item for it, or
No.
like a reasonable line item.
For-
I'm trying to pull up okay. Now I have the budget. Just
Well,
like
it
if we
doesn't-
have a line item that says, let's see.
Should be a field maintenance line item, repairs or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so, okay, perfect. We have equipment and repairs line item. We have $8,000 in that. Approximately. Nope, wait, sorry. Nope, just kidding.
Huh?
Sorry, I'm looking at the budget sideways.
So am I.
Okay,
We have
so,
equipment and repairs has $4,600 in it.
perfect. So it will come out of that line item. So yes,
Yeah, and if it bumps line items, it doesn't matter. We just have to be under that amount. So we kind of guesstimate the line items, but the town doesn't care how we spend it.
well,
So just so everybody knows. I mean, granted, it's nice to try to get an idea of what you spend each year on it, and that's kind of how we do our budgeting. But if, say, like 1 year, our equipment and repair is lower, but something else is higher, it's okay for us to spend it on the other line item.
okay.
As long as our overall budget doesn't go over the 13,000.
Do we need to do a line item transfer though, if that's the case?
usually it's a modification to the grant budget.
Okay. But regardless, that shouldn't be an issue this time because we have more than enough in that one line item. So,
Yeah.
okay. That's good to know. All right, so we have 2,300 accounted for right now. And
I
then,
also think the garbage can needs to be part of the budget, along with movie licenses.
okay, yep. I would agree.
YSB will pick up 1 month.
Okay,
Starts-
well, okay, so I guess
It's usually-
we should talk about how many movies we want to do this year. Melinda, I know you talked about starting as soon as, I don't know, April or May, right?
May, I definitely May.
Yeah, I think May's a safe bet.
And if we go through, what did we do October last time? That's 6 months.
Yeah,
We do 6 movies.
Yeah, so YSB will probably out of that 6 months pick up 2.
Okay.
We'd be responsible for 4. And those are what? Those are anywhere from what? $250 to $400,
Usually about 4 to 5.
4 to 5. So
Yeah.
you're safe if you put $2,000 aside for that.
Yep. And then we also talked about a movie screen. Which,
Dean, did you find anything, Dean?
So there's a lot of options. Do you remember how big the actual, like what the width was of the one we did?
20 foot wide by 11 foot tall.
Okay.
And that was determined by the projection, the projector itself
Right.
for clarity.
So, and we could probably get away with going a little wider with it. As we found out, the projector didn't need to be as far away as we thought. We got to go a lot closer. Every time had to keep pushing it closer.
Yeah.
So there's really basically 2 decent options out there for us. I was trying to find something. I was hoping to find like a really nice big one that we could like roll back up, retract up there, so it'd be out of the wind, but still not have to take it down every time. And so basically the point is we have to either do something like what we did last year, one that either stays up or we take it down in between every once in a while, but it's going to be a little more work to take it down, or an inflatable one. So I don't know kind of our thoughts on that.
I think what we had last year, if we put a little more
We'd have to
ingenuity into it, we probably could have saved it. So I wasn't there 5 and 6 times after a windstorm trying to replace this stinking thing.
right.
With Garth, with Kristen's husband,
Yeah.
So I think if we put a little more thought into like a general construction of it, it would be easier to roll and keep out of the wind. We have plenty of plastic. 2x4s are cheap.
Right.
And
that's the thing is like you want to be careful, because if we don't want to be like, oh, we'll just put plywood behind it, because then that'll be a nice structure that wind won't blow it down. But then my concern is it now being
Blow the whole thing down.
exactly a thing to actually take down the entire backstop. So we don't want that either. It's unfortunately where it's at. It's a very windy area. So if we're looking at just getting a nice screen instead of doing plastic, even there's really nice, decent screens that are like basically a tarp type material. But then they're light blocking, which is really good. So you don't have to wait for the sun to go completely down. Because we had a couple times where the light was shining through a little bit there. And they also come with most of a frame, a metal frame. So it gives us a little more rigidity to it. And that you're talking, they're like $400. And it goes up a lot more than that, So the biggest, best ones I was finding were a 32-foot wide, 17-foot tall inflatable one, but we're talking like $1,700. So and again, there's any gamut of that, but I really like the idea of us being able to maybe design something that we could even roll up and down.
Yeah, I like that idea too, Dean.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a big giant shade or something.
Like a shade. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we could do it easily. We could design something pretty simple. We just got to make sure that it's a material that can withstand doing that up and down a few times.
So if
Okay,
you
so
guys,
hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So if we go the inexpensive route and try and like engineer something on our own, our fiscal year ends in June. So if it doesn't work, it's not like we can't say, our budget's back in place come July 1st. We pull the trigger and we buy something.
True.
Yeah, and most of these things are 2 to 3 weeks lead time to get it, so it's not that.
That's no big deal.
Exactly. As long as you can get it shipped to you.
I was gonna say, even with COVID.
Don't get me started about shipping right now. Let me tell you, I had a lot of problems so far this year.
So if you guys feel confident enough, like me personally, I don't even know how to go about engineering something like that. So if you guys feel confident enough taking that on,
yeah,
I'm all for it. Me, on the other hand, what's that?
I mean, my husband's willing to help out with all that, so.
Okay, yeah,
Garth and I kind of have this thing nipped in the butt. We have plenty of plastic.
yeah,
We have
Yeah.
plenty of plastic left over. So I think we should start with that. It'll free up some room in our budget. And if all else fails,
yeah,
it turns out to be more of a pain in the neck,
Mhm.
then we pull the trigger and we buy one come July 1st. And then
Yeah.
we still have it for those sequential months following.
okay. I'm fine with that. And I think you make a great point about the budget, try the cheaper option first and then we'll have a new budget come July 1st. So,
It'll free up money for the volleyball court or
Yep.
additional lighting for that, or God knows which is down the new business, the DPW building, which
yeah.
Which trash can though are we talking about? I forget. Melinda brought up.
I think we're going to purchase another one, right?
For where though?
The porta potty, I thought,
Yeah.
Trying to think where that is.
by the gate when you
By
first.
the gate.
came.
Yep.
To get in the field.
Okay.
Yeah. And those were what? Those were like $500 a piece. Is that accurate, Tammy?
Yeah, it's about 500. It kind of changes depending on when you look, because I know the last time it was a little cheaper than the first time we had ordered it, so it fluctuates by a little bit, but
Those are great, by the way. Nobody's like walking around picking up garbage anymore from heathens dumping the trash can across the field, So
Yeah.
that's a really good idea. I mean, the more of those we get, the better off we're all going to be, I think.
So do we need to do another PO for that?
The garbage cans.
we just need to ask for it to be ordered if you want to order one. I can just send it to Julie.
I don't think we need a PO for that. That's just part of our budget. We needed
Yeah.
a PO with the other guy. When you hire, subcontract somebody like that, they don't want to go out on a limb for their materials and time
Yeah.
until they get a purchase order.
Until they get a PO, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Purchase order to officially start the job. That, they're not gonna take our word for it. It's not.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so right now we need $2,000 set aside for the movie licenses. Or going back to Mike's point about the budget, if we do a movie in May and June, that's only $1,000 that we need to set aside for the movie license. So we'll set aside $1,000 for the movie license, and then
That's the one.
Mike and Dean, how much do you think you need set aside for the movie screen?
So the plastic was free, obviously. I purchased, because I'm kind of silly like that, I purchased the 20-foot 2x4s. I got 4 of them and they were like $55. I didn't get reimbursed for it, but I don't really care. So yeah, $55, $60 for the 2x.
Each?
No, total.
Okay.
Total.
That's it. Okay.
Total.
Well, how do you plan on retracting it? I guess that's my biggest concern.
So I would say you'd have to the way we had it before, we had it fastened with 2x4s at the top, sandwiched the plastic between them, use screws and anchored them into the timbers that are there for the backstop.
Yeah.
Basically did the same thing. I feel a little stupid because we probably should have thought of this after the first time the thing got ripped up by the wind. And basically all you do is take a 2x4 and you can just roll it up
Okay.
and fasten it in place. And I mean, that's not crazy engineering.
Okay.
But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then we go with Dean's route and we purchase one,
Okay. So $100 set aside for the movie screen. So now
Yeah, 60 to 100.
there's 2 items crossed off. Garbage can is 500, right?
We're at $3,900 right now.
Okay. We had 39 left.
39 total. So
Total,
we're looking
yeah.
at 34 left.
Okay.
34,
Mark.
24, 27.
Yep.
Mark, I would say 600 for the garbage can, because I don't know what the shipping is.
Okay. That's a good point.
Just to be on the safe side.
Yep.
That's
I
an
agree.
even $4,000
Okay. Perfect.
with 3324 left.
Melinda, on your list, basketball nets times 2, is that just the nets themselves, or are you talking about rim and backboard?
Okay, that's up.
I
That's your.
have 4 coming right now, and they're $8 a piece.
How
So
much?
I'll pay for those and then get reimbursed. I'm not worried about that.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, you said $80 a piece?
8,
Oh, $8. Oh, Jesus.
30, 32 bucks total.
Okay.
That's why I was able to outfit the whole school with all
Yeah.
new nets, because they were actually 5 at my friend's previous employer. Now they're 8 because of shipping. Because of shipping, Dean.
You're gonna become a lifetime donor, Mike, with all
I-
these basketball contributions.
I'm trying. My wife's on the phone right now. She's not hearing me say this stuff, so I'm safe for now. So Kristen throws me under the bus someday.
So okay, so awesome. That's 4 things off the list. Basketball lights, that's included in the what we already talked about.
Yes,
the
correct.
lighting. Okay, so that's 5 things off the list. Frisbee golf signs. I haven't looked into. I talked about it like a year ago. I haven't revisited it since. I don't remember what I quoted it as. In my opinion, it's not a top priority. I do want to get it done, but it's not a top priority.
I think
so
the signage you have, Mark, that you purchased, we need to get those in place like pretty soon. So
yes, and real quickly with those, I do have them. I just haven't had the chance to get them up. So I guess I can. I'll let you guys know when I plan on putting them up and see if anyone wants to help.
if it's on a weekend, I'd be more than happy to help you. So
Okay.
you
All
pick
right.
a time convenient for you, and we'll figure it out.
Okay. It won't be this weekend. So let me think about it, and then I can send out an email.
Okay.
But I know I can't do it this weekend. And then on to the track. So what's the current condition of the track? Does it need to be? Does it need more, stone or anything? Does it need to be manicured
I don't
in
think
any
it's
way?
that bad. When
So
we went and looked for where we were putting the volleyball court, I ran around it and it's still gravel. There's no grass or anything popping through. Or
That might be one of those things. All it takes is just somebody putting a machine to it and turning it over.
Yeah.
Instead of having to add material,
And then one question that came up, a couple of different people I heard mention this around town the last couple months. Since we're talking lights, is that an area we want to consider lighting the track? Just consider for future consideration, like how much would it be to put a light or 2 out there to have that area lit up a little bit too, so people can walk, especially this time of the year. If it's not snow covered, you only have 3 hours of daylight. So
Yeah. I would say the only issue with that, and this is, my opinion or my limited knowledge, is that it's a remote place. I don't think, to my knowledge, there's no electricity even in the vicinity of it.
So on that point, Mark,
Yeah.
I can ask this electrician guy who gave me the quote for the other stuff. Even for this kind of just dawned on me, for the volleyball net area, about a solar battery.
Yeah.
And see, that would take a lot of the work of digging. It would take a lot of the work of inspection right out of it. You see those SCADA poles on like the side of the highway that have those tiny little solar panels.
Yeah.
And they have a battery.
Well, we could even stick a small solar panel on the roof of the pavilion, it just something small. And
I don't know what the cost of those are. I'm not sure. I can find it out.
That could be pricey, but so that's, I think, probably the biggest issue with the lighting the track is the isolation, and then actually there's no tall structure or pole out there, so it would include installing a pole and something to fix the light to. So I think that's the biggest issue. Again, my limited knowledge with electricity, but it would probably be a couple of $1,000s, I would think.
Probably.
So
I'll have him look into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do think it's a good idea to light the track, though.
Yeah, definitely. What's on your mind, Mike?
We talked about it once before. There's some telephone poles that go alongside the road on that side.
There
Might
are,
be able
yeah.
to- might be able to get them to hang a street light instead of towards the road, towards the field, and that would help.
Okay.
So, you can have them put a street light up. I thought there was one there at one time, but they'll charge it to us. I mean, they'll.
Yeah.
I
All right.
don't know what it is now. So, and there's power at the town garage. There's a service going into that corner there where it goes to the gazebo and goes to the basketball court, goes under the road.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but to get over.
Yeah,
to
but
the
then you
track,
gotta trench it or go over it.
Right.
and that's
you gotta
not-
put a pole up somewhere and
Right.
Yeah.
do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's no, even with the volleyball court, I think you're gonna have to put up a pole. Unless you think you can put it off the peak of the pavilion and it would be high enough to light the volleyball court up with one light.
That's the hope, is that we can just put it at the peak of the pavilion.
Yeah, the electrician I spoke to thought that was possible,
Okay.
especially like the one. I hate to say this, but the one that he's going to put over near the porta potty.
Yeah.
The one that's there right now is only a 250 watt LED. The one he's going to put in is 1,000 watt.
Is it an LED, the one by the porta potty?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Because
it's an older model LED, but it is one.
are you sure? Because Chuck gave us some old sodium vapor ones.
Maybe that's what it is, Mike. That's what it is.
I think it's a sodium vapor that Chuck got from UPS when they
UPS.
replaced them in
Okay.
their pocket
Okay.
one. That's what it used to be, unless it's been replaced.
But I don't think it has. But I mean, I think we're going to be really surprised at how much 1,000 watt.
Oh, yeah.
bulb is gonna
But if
be.
you put one on the peak of the pavilion, you'll have to position the volleyball court so that it's
Yeah.
shining probably in the middle and on the net. And
Correct.
Yeah.
essentially, you'd like to have one opposite so there would be no shadows if you're really going to play at night, you know. But you can try it.
You're getting technical now.
Well, you know,
Or even in the middle of it, you know, if
Yeah.
it's like at the net area, you know.
Right. Depends how serious you are about playing. If you just want to go down there and fool around, yeah. If you get Dean down there and you're playing,
Some of us are very serious about volleyball, you know.
yeah,
I've
I
got
was
some
gonna
people
say,
that
I play against you. I know, so yeah. Lighting can be an issue, you know, if
Yeah.
you're going to play sports at night. But if
I
it's a
mean,
good security thing too. If you have
Yeah.
a light shine on there, less likely to have somebody hanging on a net or
yeah.
turning it down or something. And LEDs are cheap. I mean, to run.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
I think the ones he quoted us have a 50,000 hour warranty,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and with the photo cell, basically it would overrun the timer. So
Yeah.
even like when nobody's there, the photo cell is going to shut it off, as opposed to the timer just click, 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 running out.
Right.
Yeah. The photo cell was his idea. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a ton of sense, Yeah, I'll talk to him. Well, depending on where we decide to put the volleyball court, which I think sounds like everybody's leaning toward the pavilion location. That's
Yeah.
What were the other locations that were considered? Sorry, I missed that meeting.
That's okay. So Dean, we were talking about we walked around like down by the Gaga ball pit,
Okay.
adjacent to the basketball court, between the tables. We'd have to move some tables, and it didn't seem like it was level enough. And then we walked up to the pavilion, which would be on the town hall side of the pavilion, and it's relatively flat and level there. And I think it would minimize how much earthwork would have to be done. Then you have the tables, you can hang out, wait, and people that are playing, you can chill out while there's another game going on. And then there's conduit for lighting, so that seemed like it. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Parking.
everybody, but that
Yeah.
seemed like
Yeah,
it was probably.
Plus, if we do too many more things over by the basketball court and playground, that area, there's not really, you got to start running on, parking issues there. And we can
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
the library for parking if
Where the
needed.
pavilion's got plenty of parking now that
Yeah,
the town
exactly.
garage moved all their stuff out,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So just to jump back to the list of projects that Melinda listed for us. So it sounds like the track, there's no, are there any areas that have been washed out or anything?
I didn't notice any major,
Okay, no
Pretty-
sprained ankles or torn ACLs due to the track?
if I
Perfect.
didn't trip, it's okay.
All right.
I
All right.
trip
So
on
it sounds like
paper.
it sounds like the track is pretty good for now. We'll kind of investigate with lighting up the track, but for now, I don't think we need to set aside anything for that. The playground, itself is fine for now, but I do always like to plan for the future, like, 5-ish years from now. I think we're really going to have to start considering fundraising or, campaigning for a new playground.
Do we need wood chips?
Yeah, do we need mulch?
Yeah, we do need mulch. Yep. So I would say roughly what, like $1,000 for mulch if we were to mulch the entire area over there.
I think Belinda usually,
Yeah, it's like $25 a yard. And usually
Yeah, Belinda usually kind of takes care of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure what the prices are. Do we have anything from the past, Tammy, that says how much that was? Okay. She's
Tammy, you're muted, so
Sorry,
I don't know.
I was trying to unmute. Sorry.
okay.
No, what was the question?
How much was the mulch for the playground?
Did we do it this past year?
I don't think
Do you
so.
know?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think
With
so.
COVID.
I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
I think it's around 600 if I remember right. It's like
600.
It wasn't much though. I don't remember it being a lot.
it's usually like
So-
$25 to $30 a yard for mulch, and then you got to have, I don't know, like maybe 20 yards, a good triaxle load of it.
I mean, we've got budgeted $1,000 on there, so it's on the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's under that.
So
Yeah, so-
it'd be under that.
So I say just keep the $1,000, set aside for that just to be safe. Technically, you are supposed to have like 8 inches depth of mulch. So if we get a little more mulch to achieve that 8 inches, I'm fine with that. But that's it for the playground. Volleyball court, I'm gonna skip that real quick, but I want to go back to that. Baseball field. We've talked a lot about that. So, okay, sorry. Mike, how much do we have left? I know you're keeping track.
Yeah, we're up to, well, including the mulch at $1,000, we're up to 5. So there's 23, 24, 27
Okay.
remaining.
All right. So it sounds like we're
Are you
gonna have
laughing
to.
at me?
What's that?
I think Courtney's laughing at something.
Oh.
No, I was talking to Dad.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it sounds like we're gonna have to pick between the volleyball court and the baseball field, and based on demand, I'm gonna go with the volleyball court.
I agree.
Seeing as the baseball field really hasn't been utilized in well over a year. So
And if
Been a
we're
good
using
money
it for the drive-ins,
exactly. So I think, again, I know we've talked about that grant opportunity for some time. I checked in on it recently. It's still a possibility. So I think when the time is right, maybe next year, if we really want to, consider, basically in my opinion, the baseball field is gone. In the sense of there's no infield. So I think it's worth just putting that on the back burner and really focusing on the volleyball court, get that up and going, and then we can focus on the baseball field maybe next year during the new.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Good.
And who knows, I might have some young men who are trying to get Eagle or women who are trying to go for Eagle Scout here in the town. So maybe,
Yeah. There you go.
no one this year, but maybe next year. So
All right. And then Melinda, you did list cornhole. I'm always a fan of cornhole, but I don't know if that's,
That's part of the tricentennial.
okay. When is that? Is that it's this
year.
year.
Here,
Oh, geez.
May.
Okay.
if we can maybe buy like 2 to 4 of them.
Okay.
So we bought our cornhole boards from this
Made our
place in Mystic. It's called the Mystic Cornhole Board Company, whatever. No, that's seriously, that's the name.
Yeah, no.
And they're really good, but you can actually get custom designs on them.
Yeah.
So if we did choose to, we could probably get some with the Voluntown seal, or
Okay.
maybe get creative, or I don't know, maybe some
I'm
designs
all for it.
that the kids did for the coins and stuff. We could probably use some of those, or
Yep. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea for the tricentennial.
Yeah. So, I know they are a little expensive. Aren't they like $200 a set or something to have them custom?
Yep.
And Melinda, you said 3 or 4?
2 sets,
Oh, 2 sets. Okay.
total of 4. And then,
Got it.
because I know the adults, they can bring their own.
Yeah.
Brian Rasco has some for VES that I'm sure he'll allow us to borrow. And
BYOB, bring your own bag.
there you go. There you go. And then also one of the kids that's on the YSB board wanted to do a kid tournament as well, which I think is
Okay.
an awesome idea. So we'd like to do that as well.
Okay. Okay. So let's set aside 500 just in case for the cornhole. So that brings us to $1,800 left for the volleyball court, which is perfect because that should cover the majority of it. But if we need to, we can tap into the Gage Street Fund.
Right.
Ronnie
boards-
Milovich did say when we met that morning to look over, when we met at the town garage, the old town
Yep.
garage, he did say that he would be willing to help us with the construction.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
I think we should hold him to that.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's
Do we
pretty
know-
awesome.
Yep.
We just covered that entire list. So
Are we putting
Nope.
money aside for
Me.
what?
go ahead.
Do the bags come with the cornhole thing? Because those can be
Yes.
pricey too.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Okay.
So 500 we said?
Yeah, 500 total for 2 sets.
Okay.
Are we going to put money aside for Finn Beach for this summer or no?
I think we should. Just for the porta potty. What is it that we cover? The porta potty, right?
And well, historically we covered security too.
Nope, I think that's on the town now,
It's on the
Okay.
town.
Town picked up.
Well, that's right. They reimbursed us. That's right.
but we do need porta potties.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
signage if we need it, maybe replace a buoy or 2 or whatever. We'll have to.
yeah.
Probably should put one of those signs down there, Mark, that you
Oh,
COVID.
that's a good
COVID
point.
sign, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
It will be over by then.
I hope so.
Well,
Yeah.
so that's fine. If we have to, the entire volleyball court expense can come out of Gate Street because I'm optimistic that the volleyball court won't be too much. Maybe $2,000. So whatever. Again, sorry, I don't have the budget in front of me, and I wasn't keeping track of everything. But whatever we have left in the budget, we can save for Ben Beach or any other expenses that come up throughout the fiscal year. And then all volleyball court expenses can come out of Gate Street, in my opinion. So,
yeah, we're down to $1,825 in our budget.
yeah. So,
I don't know what he's doing.
and then, if we get to say the month of May and, we're digging ground for the volleyball court and we realize that we don't have any other expenses, then the 1,800 that we have remaining can go towards the volleyball court
I agree.
without having to tap into the Gate Street. So, all right. Cool. That's awesome.
One more thing.
Yep.
The Brett Salter Memorial.
Yes.
We had some correspondence with, this is strictly fiscal now. We had some correspondence with Amy Suffoletto, and she recommended nothing more than 100, and it should be divvied up between a boy and a girl. So there should be, she was cool with the idea. She loved the idea. But she thought it might be, instead of just giving it to one individual, give it to a male and a female student. I think it was $100, I think. That's what she recommended not going over.
I'm fully supportive of that, of what she recommended.
So that puts us down to 1624. And I think we should have a little committee drafted up to have communication with the school in order to determine or who is going to vote on the student that does get awarded it. And we should have a method of making the Salter family aware of it. Maybe have a little letter drafted up, as opposed to them just hearing like through the grapevine kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, I'd be happy to be on the committee as well. I mean, my wife talks to Amy Suffoletto pretty frequently, so
I do as well. So I'm
yeah.
happy to be a part of that as well.
Okay.
Amy and Jackie usually pick the students. They're very good at what they do.
Okay.
Picking. So I really think both of them will pick and let us know. That's
Okay.
what they do for YSB.
Okay. I don't mind that. I mean, they know more of the kids than we do, But it definitely, I mean, it would be nice to draft up a letter to send to Chuck and Laurie and just let them know it. We don't need to do it now. I mean, kids don't graduate till June, so we've got plenty of time to put the words together, I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
maybe next meeting. I did that. I brought that up for fiscal reasons.
Yep. Yeah. So that's fine.
Okay.
And I support everything that was mentioned. All right. So that covers it for, well, the memorial, we did talk, the memorial fund is in the old business. So Mike, do you want to talk about that anymore aside from just from fiscal perspective?
No, I think I basically said everything I think I knew.
Yeah.
If anybody else has any input, by all means,
Okay.
Can I go back to the memorial thing?
I'm sorry.
Can I go back to the memorial thing?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Are we basing it on academics and athletics?
Not
You can't do
necessarily.
any
Yes.
athletics this year.
What?
It's.
Yeah, that can get tricky.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
like-
it'll only be a year this spring. So I don't know if it's too soon to kind of lay something on Chuck and Laurie or
Okay.
give it another year.
I don't know.
No, I
I
don't.
don't know if it's too soon.
Yeah, and you're right. There is no athletics right now.
Not at the
They're
elementary level.
non-existent. They're
But you could just do a well-rounded students who, I mean, they're graduating, so we know what they've done, what they've been involved in. But I don't know, is it something that Mike, you go talk to Chuck? I don't know.
I guess that's one of those lines that you don't want to cross, not knowing. So, I mean, I could have a conversation with him. I mean, I speak pretty openly with Chuck. I could
Bart's
ask.
very close to him, so.
Yeah. If if he would be opposed to it, I don't think he would be opposed, but he might be on the sensitive side because of Lori. So, yeah, maybe it's better we have a conversation with them first before we start pulling the trigger on things and surprising them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
I think
idea.
it's a really, really good idea. Yes. So
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him. Maybe not now, but I'll wait. Maybe a month or so. And
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to wait a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the first holiday they've been through with
Yep.
and all that sort of stuff. And plus the COVID stuff that's going on.
Yep. Okay.
Gonna need-
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we wait till next meeting, and if anybody has any more thoughts, then I will definitely wait as long as you want me to. But I think that's a fantastic idea to run it by them first,
Yeah. Yeah.
not just steamroll them with something that they had no idea about. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's allocate the monies anyway, just because we have to.
Yep.
And then we'll go forward.
Yep. I agree. All right. Moving on to new business. The DPW building. A handful of us, what was it, 2 weeks ago, got together just to kind of tour the old DPW building, which has been, talked about, being handed over to us. Tracy did follow up with me via email, just very briefly after, just to check in to see how it went. She did make a point so she said, just a reminder that the Recreation Commission, to take use of the garage, we would need a written request to the Board of Selectmen so the transfer from Public Works to Recreation Commission can be approved. Also, consideration will have to be given to line items that would have to be added to the Recreation Commission budget for the 2021-2022 budget, such as electricity, which I know we talked about while we were, touring it. She also mentioned that Public Works still has some things stored in there, which they're working on moving to the new garage over time. So an arrangement would need to be made with them about that as well. I followed up by just kind of giving an overview. I'll share that. I said there were 5 of us plus Ron. Ron is the one that gave us a tour or opened up the building for us. Overall, the consensus was that we're not sure if we can really do anything with the building other than use it for storage. A lot of concerns were raised, such as would the building pass a building inspection, a lot of possible fire hazards and ground contamination. And then I, point out to her, I said, as you know, any modifications will require bringing the building up to code, which just isn't worth it for that, building in its current state. And then I went on to say, in my opinion, one of the better ideas that was suggested for use of the land would be to demo the building and build a tennis court or parking lot in its place. This would essentially cap the contaminated soil and provide valuable recreation space. This would eliminate the need to remove all of the contaminated soil, which could be very costly. We didn't have any other discussion aside from those 2 emails. So does anyone have anything to add?
Well, be it that they still have stuff in there. In my opinion, they still occupy it.
Yep, I agree.
Until their stuff is completely gone, they should cover the costs.
Yeah, yep.
Well,
yeah, and Tracy even, like I said, she made the point that, it's not transferred over to us until we make the request that we want to have it transferred over to us. So it's still Public Works, and we would have to make a written request, and then it would have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen. So as far as there is no question as to whose responsibility it is right now. It's still DPW. So.
My concern, Mark, is that, and this goes to everybody, my concern is when they clean their hands of it, there's still going to be miscellaneous stuff. There's a trailer. There's all kinds of stuff out back. We don't have the resources, or I guess we do, but I don't feel it's necessary for us to waste our time.
It's not really beneficial to us.
It's not beneficial for us to have to chase all that. Is the building going to be useful? Potentially. But if it's going to be transferred to us and we decide to do something with it, I don't want to have us be responsible for the disposal of 20,000 pounds of granite curb or a tractor trailer that's been sitting out there for 25 years that everybody kind of just, neglects.
Yeah.
If they're gonna walk away with
everything.
all your crap gone. See.
Yeah.
And then if it does get handed to us, we can make the determination on whether to demo it or how to go forward. But as far as like occupancy, we can store whatever we want in there as long as we're not in there like having meetings or doing fundraising, or that to me is not, if for any case, if there was a fire or an electrical problem and somebody got hurt, it's on us.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. So, I mean, it sounds like at this point, we don't need to make any decisions or any actions. I think it's probably in our best interest to just wait and have DPW fully move out.
They should make us aware that they say, okay, we're gone.
Yeah.
And we do, then I think it's up to us to, maybe we could tell Tracy this, to do a survey of ourselves.
Yeah.
To say, we don't want to be responsible for this trailer, the granite curb, the fuel tank, the salt box, get all your stuff out,
Yep.
And then we'll make a decision.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
I agree. Anyone else? All right.
Tennis courts.
All right.
So Mark, did I miss something with the 21-22 budget? Did we just say that we're going to stay the same?
No. Okay. Sorry. I guess I did skip over that. Well, we did mention, I think the assumption should be that it will be the same budget. I can't imagine them approving of, any major increases.
Except for the power to the new DPW building.
Correct.
As a line item.
Okay. Yeah. So, but again, we don't really know how much that is. So that's something I can reach out to Tracy and, figure out, okay, how much do we need to add to the budget? Like, how much that line item would be. So other than that, does anyone have any other proposals to add to the new fiscal budget? Okay. Yeah. I don't either. So, I think
just make sure we add movie licenses to it.
Yes. Well, okay. Do we need to? Because
I don't think we need a separate line item for movie licenses. They don't have held us to following the line items exactly. They're just approximations to follow. I mean, if we have something in there it's recreation. I mean, we're providing.
Well, but
we have the line item for community programs.
Yeah, you could take it out of that. It's not.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's got like 1,800 in it.
Okay.
And then are the movies being done in lieu of other items? So like we're not doing basketball, we're not doing this, we're not doing these other things. So
but next year we might.
Yeah.
Right. So the money that we're, that grand total that we're using right now includes that, but is also not taking into consideration the fact that we aren't spending money on things that we might for next year. Question.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. And and now we have a volleyball court going in. So is there going to be maintenance for that? And there's a few things we're doing. So do we need to look at an increase possibly?
Yeah.
And I hate increases in budgets, just so you know.
Well, I think we've been pretty fair over the last. I mean, as long as I've been on the commission, our budget hasn't increased at all, and nor have we asked for it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to say, all right, there was an extra $2,000 to cover movie costs and maintenance to the volleyball court because we are expanding, we're doing good things. It's justified,
Yeah, but I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I've only been on the board for 2 or so years. The list of projects that we just listed is by far the most that we've done in these last 2 years. And we've been able to, we're doing that because we have so much money left over. I don't see why we seem to run into this every year where we have, X
Extra.
number of dollars left over.
Not this year. Not this year. We're getting down
Yeah.
to bare bones.
So we're being responsible and we're going to use everything. I don't know. In the last 2 years, we haven't run into an issue with overspending. So I feel pretty comfortable moving into next fiscal year with the same budget.
Yeah, and then if we find that we're, having issues next year, then we look at it again. So I love it.
Yeah.
Right. Once we have everything, like, the volleyball court and stuff, and we say, all right, this is the upkeep we're going to need on it every year, then we can really justify it because we'll have like, a year's worth of whatever it was that we needed for it.
Yeah. And in theory, I mean, if we're building this volleyball court, in May, it's only going to get 5 months of usage, 6 months of usage. There really shouldn't be much upkeep
Until the following May.
Exactly. Until the following year or following May. So I think we'll be okay if we don't ask for an increase this year.
And don't forget to add yoga to the budget. That's at least $200 a month.
200 a month. Okay.
At least.
Do we charge for that? We haven't been because it's virtual,
Because
but
it's online.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not charging, but she charges $50 a class, which is about $200 a month.
Okay.
So when they're in person, I know that the individuals pay some too. Do we pick up much then or not really?
No, it usually covers it when we
Okay.
have in person.
Okay.
So, I mean, we could possibly, depending on what the situation is with the virus, like once it gets warmer, they were doing it outside last summer.
Yeah.
So we could potentially look like in the spring, once it turns warmer, to moving it outside again.
So
Yeah.
did we extend that? I know we had agreed through January or through December, we were going to do it free of charge. So we obviously extended that.
I don't think we discussed it, did we?
Yeah,
Ever since it's been virtual, we're not charging just because it's an issue getting the cash in hand.
Yep.
But I think once in person again, we should start charging.
I agree.
But we didn't need to like put that down anywhere, I assume. We're just saying, since as long as it's virtual, it's going to be no charge, right?
right.
Okay.
I think so.
Just clarify.
Okay. So let me double check, but my understanding is that we still have the budget doesn't need to be submitted until I think mid-March. So we can kind of table this, but it sounds like we're in a pretty good, are we all in agreement that we don't need to ask for an increase this year?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I
So
agree.
we can finalize it next meeting. But so just everyone double check. I think you're right, Dean, or you had the right train of thought with now that we're adding the volleyball court and other items, we do need to think about maintenance and upkeep. But I mean, we just every year we seem to have money left over, so I think we're in a fairly comfortable spot. So yeah, we'll finalize it next meeting. Let me double check before I say that. Sorry, give me 1 minute. All right. So the schedule is so it needs to be in Yeah, it doesn't have to be submitted until March 30th. So we can finalize it next meeting. So, all right, that's it for budget 2021, 2022. We've already discussed DPW building. Does anyone have any correspondences?
I don't.
None. All right. Any general discussion? None. All right.
We good.
That's all we have on on the agenda. So,
Tammy,
would someone like to?
give me the budget stuff, please?
Sorry, what's that?
I need the treasurer's report from Tammy.
Okay.
Okie doke. So we have spent year to date $5,675.73. And we have remaining $7,324.27.
Okay. And Gate Street stayed the same, right?
Let's see. Gate Street has $15,822.22.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?